welcome to episode number 2 of the Fibreglass boat restoration project. I'm excited for this episode, if nothing else, than because it's actually feels like we're making progress rather than just, filling holes and cutting out seats and a bit of sanding. Now we're starting to add to it rather than take away from it. So today is all about starting to cut wood, right? Build the frame, start cutting up the floor and test fitting, and that's really, really exciting. We're not far off paint, so stay tuned and let me know what you think in the comments below. Enjoy. So my brother Jono came over to help me out. Jono's a carpenter, which is super useful in this stage of the project, where what we're really doing is cutting a lot of wood and a lot of hopefully measuring a couple of times and cutting once. So we started by cutting the ribs, or the sort of bracing that runs horizontally down the boat, and then stringers accordingly. At this stage, what we worked out was that these were actually sitting a bit higher in the boat than we wanted them to. So Jono's actually here marking out the shape of the bottom of the hull so that we can actually cut out an indent in the boat. And you see there, it actually fits in really nicely at this stage. They sit a bit lower and all sit flush. We then put the floor in the boat and measured using another just small block of wood right down the side of the boat so we could get the curvature of the side. Made it really easy for us to then jump across with the jigsaw and cut a really nice simple line that was the exact right size for the boat. If there's one thing I've learned from this project, it's about keeping the jigsaw smooth. It's not easy, but if you can get those smooth lines, it makes a big difference. We then moved up to the front of the boat, built a really simple bulkhead, and got cutting. So started to build the bracing and the front bulkhead. That there then gets epoxied in and essentially acts as a wedge to keep the flat floor in place. There's another situation where there's a little bit less room for error at this point, so we had to be as smart as we could here. It was much less about taking your best guess and more about measuring and getting it right, because after you've got a few things in the boat, it becomes much harder. Just take a wild stab and hope that you get it right. We installed the bracing on the front seat. This would act as the major support at the front of the boat. And from here we would build in more brace off the top of this crossbar, and the front deck would sit right across the front seat and then across all of that bracing. This is what it's starting to look like. It's getting pretty close to finished here, which is really nice. At least the rear half of the boat is. We've still got to get the front bracing in, but it's looking good. And that's the epoxy. This is a very early coat of epoxy, which is essentially a fiberglass. So we got a good coat in early, which tacked it all together, and then I did several more coats overnight. And here's what it looks like when you've got your ply in. This is the boat essentially in what really appears to be a finished state, although this is really it being test fit. What is going on, guys? Well, it's time for another weekend on the boat. We've got quite a lot to get done at the moment. I want to get the front hatch cut and supported. I want to get the inside with the seats where we've filled them. I want to get them sanded back and ready to go. There's heaps to get done. I'm really pumped about it. So we've also had some deliveries that have come this week, which is cool. So I'm going to go over what arrived. The nav lights. Specifically got white with LEDs in them so that they will look good when they are sort of mounted. I don't know if you can see that, mounted on the side of the boat. The side of the boat will be white, so they should look good on the side of the boat. We got our wiring. So this will be the wiring that runs from battery to all of the devices. my stainless steel cleats have arrived. Now these are really nice. Brand new, super clean, super nice. I'm really happy with them. One I got at the front of the boat, not quite there, but it'll go at the front of the boat, and the other two along the transom. But I'm pretty happy with those. They look really cool. They feel solid as, yeah, they look good. So I've got 3 of those. And then the thing I was more excited about was actually this. Got a brand new switch panel with the fuses accessible from the front, which is what I really wanted. So this will mount probably along the front of the seat here. If it's, yeah, it looks like it'll work in terms of the height. And then the battery will go under the front floor, which is good because there's a bit of weight in that. So I'm pretty excited about this, only because I'll be able to rewire everything up nicely. I've also ordered LED strip lighting to go underneath the rail that runs all the way around the side of the boat under here. So on the interior of the boat will have really nice lighting too. So some cool. Oh, and the other thing that arrived was this stuff, which is awesome. So this is the primer that we're going to use. This is the complete marine grade primer. Got a bit of advice, and that was what I was supposed to get. So hopefully in the next couple of days we'll be able to get some of that on the inside on the deck, and then we'll do the outside later on. But we're getting close. Time will tell. With the epoxy in, now it came time for us to cut the front hatch. So I knew that I had to build in the solid supports here, which required quite a lot of measuring. Needed bracing underneath, and then a short crossbar between the two slots. Now what this meant was we had a perfect square for the lid, the hatch, to sit into. Important here that all screws that were on the top part of the supports were actually going to be mounted flush into the wood, because the ply is going to be sitting right across here. So all screws, all bolts had to be countersunk. I'd rather make it slightly too big and have to file it back than cut it too short altogether and have it not fit in nicely. A knock of the hammer does it. And that's the first test fit of the hatch over the top of the new supports. Now we've got to get it all fixed in and cut the hatch hole into the deck. Something you definitely don't want to get wrong. There's a lot of wasted ply. And here it is being test fit for the first time. very pleased to see that it actually sits in really nicely, which is good. Always a bit of a concern at first. And now as we start to get ready for that coat of primer, it's time to get those sides smooth. Where I added in all that initial filler, got to get them smooth and get a bit more filler in there in the areas where it was missing. This stuff was awesome. This Need It sort of putty marine grade, it was amazing for filling holes. It was easy to work with, and I'm super grateful for it. It was a real quick fix when I needed it. Really easy to work with as well, which was important. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I've mentioned this before, but I feel like I should say it again. I really don't know what I'm doing with this project. It's not something I've got experience in. I've never worked on boats, I've never built a boat. I really don't know what I'm doing. So a big part of this whole project is about experimentation for me. It's about learning, it's about trying things you haven't tried before, and that's everything in this case. So I know there's things that I'm definitely not doing right by the textbook necessarily, but I'm kind of okay with that. I feel like a lot of it is test and learn. There's still a lot of Googling going down, and a lot of watching YouTube tutorials and whatnot, but I think there's something that's kind of cool and okay about taking on a project and not necessarily knowing what the outcome is, because a big part of it is that you're pushing yourself and you're trying to learn, and that's cool. So yeah, I guess that's my full disclosure up front. It's like, yeah, we know that it's not perfect. We know that there's things that should be done better or be a bit more polished in the process of building, but I guess that's all part of it. So if I have done something that you would have done differently, please do leave me a comment, because that is genuinely useful. It's good to know that, and it helps us all grow and learn together, which is, I guess, why we all do it, right? And as always, yeah, subscribe, leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, for paying attention. The next episode will be out really soon, I promise. And we're getting close now. We're on the home run. This is about getting it all finished. So time will tell how the whole project pans out, but thanks for watching and see you soon.
Close your eyes and call my name, and